All right, YouTube, this is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit, back with another video. And we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk. We're going to talk about the threats on the HBCU campuses. We're going to talk about the left, and we're going to talk about the right. We're going to talk about where we are in America right now. And we're going to accept where we are right now. We're going to act like we know what time it is. We're not going to act as if we don't see the writing on the wall, like Daniel of the Bible seen the writing on the wall. Now, first, before I get off into my topic, let me tell you what these trolls been saying to me. I've had trolls say to me that because I have conservative views, I don't like my people, or I got something against my people. They even went as far as to say, you're not FBA if you think like that. Let me tell you something. Tariq Nasheed came up with the term FBA, and he was born in 1974. I was born in 1966. No man that was born years after I was born is going to name me. They got mad when I said that who cares about what's taken out of the Smithsonian as far as our history, because I know my history. My grandma is from Mount Bayou, Mississippi. Her grandfather was from Mount Bayou, Mississippi. Mount Bayou, Mississippi means Mounds Bayou in the Mississippi Delta. My grandma was a Choctaw Indian or Native. My cousins are Creek. The whole region is Native. We didn't come over here in no fantasy wooden ships that they want you to think that millions of people traveled 9,000 miles on wooden ships with no water and no food. Somebody been creating a narrative for you. When I grew up, they talked about our family, my mother and us and my siblings. They said we had chinky eyes, which we felt insulted. What do you mean we got chinky eyes? That's disparaging, because we knew where we came from. We knew we came from Mount Bayou, Mississippi, which was founded in 1887. It was one of the first so-called black cities before the Civil War, before immigration. I was here. My family was here. I don't let nobody define me when I already know who I am. Y'all want somebody else to teach you your history? That's what's wrong with you. You don't even know who you are. That's why you mad. That's why you identify with everything that somebody else tells you that you are. That's why you are susceptible to race baiting, because you keep coming up with terminologies. First you was colored, then you was black, then you was African American, now you FBA. Who are you really to get in my comments and say, you don't sound like an FBA? Where your people from? My people are from Mount Bayou, Mississippi in the Delta. And we've always been here. We was here before the Mayflower. So if you think you can offend me with some type of dispersion about being African American, I don't have no African ancestors. Let's start there. And my allegiance is to my family. I have 7 grandkids. And I'm the leader. Not Trump, not Biden, not the left or the right. I determine what's right for me. And since we in a climate of hostility, stop acting like you don't know. Stop backpedaling off your rhetoric. It's going to be what it's going to be. They say, why are people from the right making threats toward people on the left? When that man got taken out in front of the world, you rushed to the internet to poke fun at him. You rushed to the internet to laugh and joke. You listened to these weak people who don't even know who they are. People like Roland Martin that's from Haiti leading you. And now that the temperature is up and they know that nobody is safe, they know that rifles on buildings can blow you away, and it has the potential to be tit for tat. Don't act like you didn't see this coming. Don't talk. See, another thing, I'm from Detroit. In Detroit, it's an unwritten rule. You don't make no threat. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. Don't make a threat. Because when you make a threat, if the person you threaten got good sense, guess what they do? They come and they hunt you till you drop. That's what they do. They come and they hunt you down. And, you know, they get in my comments and say, oh, I'm old. Yeah. I didn't think I'd make it to 60. They said I wouldn't make it to 18. Then they said I wouldn't make it to 21. I've been through some things. I know what war looks like. I seen people get unalived before the internet in real time. I've seen the blowback of a close range shot to where you spattered with somebody else's hot blood. So I just tried to warn you, like, don't poke fun at somebody's demise. See, my grandmama taught me, you never speak ill of the dead. And I was taught by my uncles and the men in my family, never make a threat. Don't pull a weapon and don't use it. Stop playing. Stop playing. I even had a lady get in my comments and threaten me because she didn't like my response on Charlie Kirk. I'm going to tell other YouTubers that you are a sellout. Sell who out? Who I've ever pledged allegiance to sell out? Who would I ever betray when I know who I am? But one thing, you can't threaten me and feel safe. That's a fact. If you threaten me, just realize you are not safe. Because I take all threats serious. And I've walked that road before, several times. And I'm from Detroit, and I'm from Highland Park. And if you don't know me or whatever, it doesn't even matter. The people that do know that I ain't on here with no cap. I take all threats serious. If I'm offended, I decide how I'm going to respond to the situation. Once you offend somebody and disrespect somebody, you can't determine how they respond. And I understand that. And me as an older man, y'all always say I'm old, I can decide as the warrior I am, do I want to die from cancer, a heart attack, a stroke, or a hot one? Do I want somebody changing my diaper because I done got so old that I lose control of my faculties? My father is 82 years old right now and still married to my mother. 82. My grandmother died at 96. Her grandfather died at 102. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? Because that's the problem with a lot of you. You don't know who you are. And that's why you can't even see what's going on. There is an invested interest in involving Black Americans in subversion, treason, and sedition as a fifth column by globalists. And they paid people to get in front of you and race bait you and race hustle. And you jumped out there on the internet poking fun at a man getting his life took for exercising his First Amendment. So now they crying because they say, oh, they threatening HBCUs. What you thought? Even the homies in Chicago know you do not diss the deceased because it's a boomerang. It's coming back to you in tenfold. You people, y'all so radical. 9 Black women had their lives taken only a few years ago in a supermarket in Buffalo. And you don't even talk about them no more. You don't talk about them. 9 grandmothers and mothers. Did you see the Roland Martins and the D.L. Hugleys take to the street and act as if they wanted some smoke? Nah. They let that pass. 9 Black women. AME Church. You ain't did nothing. You keep poking the bear. You keep threatening. And then when the consequences of your actions is relevant, then you scream foul. We seen with the Kennedy assassination that anybody can be touched. So what is the temperature now? Who's next? Let's say, who's next? I bet you Roland Martin ain't walking around here without no security. He paying top dollar for security. All of them are. Because they can pay security. But we know that that security don't even work. When somebody has a rifle and is on a building, your security, get out the way. But this is the climate in America right now. This is the temperature. To where now people are out talking. But guess what? There are people who are not talking. And they're somewhere in the basement or in a back room writing manifestos. So we all have become targets. So act like you know. Don't act like you don't understand what's going on. That's a coward. I'm out here. I'm blogging in my truck. I'm out here. I have no delusions that I'm not liked. I may be a target. I rest comfortably in the fact that I can target others. I can get active. I can do what anybody else do. I got hands and feet. And I got courage and rights. So we have to stop acting like we don't know that words are powerful. There are consequences behind words. For every action, there's a reaction. And that's what I got to say personally. Now, I want you to check out this clip. Roland Martin, the Haitian, race baiter, race hustler. He's on it. He even made a video saying that it's MAGA on MAGA, insulting them people by saying they took out one of their own. Still being a slave for the Democrats and the liberals. In your face, insulting people. And the man that all this is about ain't even in the ground yet. What you think gonna happen after the funeral? After the funeral, people going to be sliding. If you're from Chicago, you know what I mean. If you're from Detroit, you know what I mean. But let's knock it off with the virtual signaling, the name calling, the you a sellout, you this and you that. Let's say it's up and everybody will be held accountable for their words, their actions, and their deeds. And I'm okay with that. So without further ado, let me show you this clip of one of y'all leaders, because he don't understand that when everybody ran to TikTok and Twitter and Facebook to poke fun at a man that was taken out in front of his family and his children, that was loved by millions, there was going to be no consequences for that. So are y'all getting ready? Roland Martin and the rest of y'all, are y'all organizing? You know the Second Amendment also gives y'all a right to form a militia. Y'all getting y'all militias together to protect the communities that you endangered with your rhetoric? Is you posted up at these grocery stores and these churches where people have been attacked at for years? Or are you still so weak that the very people that you call fascists and Hitler, you are appealing to them for sympathy? What? Nobody can have from this. There's a war going on outside that no man is safe from at this point. So without further ado, listen to these leaders. I don't know what you call them. We're going to call them podcasters. You know what I mean? Listen what they saying. Listen now. Oh, what the HBCUs got to do with it? What black people got to do with it? Why did y'all go to the internet making fun of somebody losing their life while people are grieving, as if you don't have a life of your own or loved ones of your own? That's what cowards do. You start something that you can't finish. So here is the conversation that they're having about the HBCUs. It's for fair use in the 1976 Copyright Act for education and commentary. Look at these cowards.
Multiple HBCUs have been under a lockdown amid threats to their campuses. Alabama State University, Hampton University, Virginia State University, Southern University in Baton Rouge, as well as Bethune-Cookman University in Florida, were all placed on lockdown today, each citing potential threats made against their campuses. In Atlanta, Spelman College urged students and faculty to avoid campus and implemented heightened security measures following a threat made against nearby Clark Atlanta University. Campus police at Clark Atlanta University confirmed the threat had been received, prompting a shelter-in-place order. These incidents come one day after right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk was shot dead on a college campus in Utah. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries released a statement about these threats. This is what he had to say. He said, the violent threats made today against several historically black colleges and universities throughout the nation are despicable, and yet another indication that the explosion of hateful extremism is out of control. We stand with the students, faculty, and communities that have had their peace and safety disrupted. I'm thankful to local law enforcement for their swift response. The Department of Justice and FBI must thoroughly investigate any potential act of domestic terrorism and not turn a blind eye when black college students are apparently being viciously targeted. These attempts to intimidate everyday Americans will not stand. We need leadership at this moment that brings the country together. Now, a threat was also made against the Democratic National Committee headquarters. Senate staff received an alert from the U.S. Capitol regarding the responses of the National Party's headquarters. According to a statement from the U.S. Capitol Police, officers were alerted to the potential threat at 1:07 p.m. Eastern and began sweeping the building and surrounding areas. As of the latest update, This is Joette, who loved the dog sitting company she worked for so much, she ended up Southwest DC. A DNC spokesperson confirmed that the incident was determined to be a non-credible bomb threat. Now, keep in mind, the DNC headquarters also, they still have not found the person who placed those pipe bombs outside of the DNC headquarters in January of 2021. I want to go to my panel. Greg, I want to start with you. You're a professor at Howard University. Give us a sense of what it felt like on that campus today. Howard was not one of those schools that were impacted, but the thing here, I mean, what does it say that after this day, HBCUs were targeted? I mean, the reality is, in this climate we're in this anti-black climate, HBCUs are a huge target for.
He's still race baiting in this anti-black climate. They're using these names again. It's insulting to me personally. My grandparents didn't tell me I was black. They taught me I was Choctaw. They taught me that we came from the mounds in the Delta. They taught me we always been here. They taught me we done fought and we done lost in some battles we done won. So I've been at war. There's never been a day in this country since I've been alive and jumped off the porch as a man that I ain't walk out my door knowing that in any minute I could be at war. That's why I don't poke the bear. That's why I keep my real thoughts to myself. See, these race baiters, they've been saying all kind of things about the right. Now the right is saying, let's get to it. Now they saying, we want the federal government to protect us. You mean the federal government that Trump is over? The man y'all call the fascist, racist, Hitler. Now y'all going to him for protection. Make that make sense. You guys are men. Protect your communities. Protect the colleges. Protect what you said out of your mouth and what you stand on. This is America. People have always been held accountable for their words and their actions. From Lincoln to Kennedy to Martin to Malcolm to Medgar Evers. And there's so many more. Somebody even took out John Lennon. So why all the rhetoric and the race baiting and all of that? When you know the temperature, you know the history, you know the culture. Who's paying you to mislead the people and the masses into destruction? Who's undermining everything over here? And it's at a fever pitch. And listen to him talk.
Races in America.
Roland, I'm trying to pick my words carefully here.
Yeah, this lion need to pick his words carefully. Now he a sucker. He just run up behind, kissing, rolling behind. Now he got to pick his words carefully. No, get bold. Get bold and step outside. Come on outside. I'm outside. We men, aren't we? Who protected me? Nobody's protecting me but God and the ancestors. So what are we doing, America? Who's scared? Who shook? Who want to turn down the temperature now? The temperature's not going down. So y'all keep posting, y'all keep blogging, and everybody seeing where everybody stands. You know, this is a warrior's dream.
And the first reports began to filter out earlier today. I went to several of my group chats because, of course, I have colleagues at every one of those campuses, at most of the HBCUs, and of course, those students, from most of them. And the reports I got back, some were sheltering in place, like Clark. Students at Spelman were locked down for about an hour next door. Morehouse, of course, got a report back, and we were in conversation. And the general sentiment was this: you're not going to intimidate us, and you're not going to scare us. These white nationalists are at war with each other. They've been at war with each other since they left Europe 500 years ago. They are, in moments like this, when they're desperate, in moments like this,
If you believe that, then why did you Negroes start race baiting and jumping in the middle of it when you don't have an army? You don't have nothing but women and children supporting your churches and your movement. You saying that they've been at war with each other since they left Europe? Then why you been race baiting for the last 15 years instead of minding the business that pay you? See, you minding the business that pay you because you are paid to be a rabble rouser and to mislead black people. Period. And you done sided with the party of Jim Crow, the Dixiecrats, your masters. And you trying to intellectualize people with your big words and your fake false degrees that you got from the same people that you don't even respect. Negro, please.
Get more and more absurd. And we get pulled into this violence. This is not a nation. It is a country with a lot of different people in it. And if you want to go look for people who are killing people, the last place you should look is historically black colleges and universities. And if you take a few phone calls and some emails that will be taken seriously.
I can't even take it no more. I can't even take it no more. You've heard my position on it. We know what time it is. We see the people that's getting fired for their posts and their videos. We see it. So that's what we gonna do. You can't organize for sure because you're so disrespectful that even in your own community you divided. Your neighbor wants you off here. Your own neighbor, less known an intruder, because you're so disrespectful. You're so hateful that you out there on the island. Every man for himself, and God bless us all. This is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. As always, salute to all patriots. Keep your head on a swivel. Every man for himself, and God help us all.